Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So I want to talk about the Eagles roster cuts. The Eagles cut down the roster to 80, and then right after this, we're going to be, next Tuesday, we'll be cutting the roster to 53 finally. Since we don't have that fourth preseason game, less than 1 day to make roster cuts, and you go from 80 to 53 in one shot. There's going to be some fans that are pissed off. Certain guys are going to get cut that we're probably going to be upset about. There might be some guys that we want back that are going to clear waivers and come right back to us, which is going to be good. So it should be really interesting. So I want to go over those cuts really quick. Okay, they are cutting tackle Jared Williams, running back DeAndre Torrey, and cornerback Josh Blackwell. Tackle guard Brett Toth and tight end Tyree Jackson are on the PUP list as of right now. Tyree Jackson will probably be on the IR, most likely. Still coming off that ACL, rehabbing, will be a project for next year. And you have Brett Toth, that's kind of been like guy could play multiple positions on the offensive line. Maybe they see something in him and kind of want to keep him around, so he could be on IR as well. I think you have an extra 3 spots for the roster this year, and on top of your injured reserve, I think you'll have a couple guys on IR regardless, so we'll see what happens. I mean, you have DeAndre Torrey, that was the running back from North Texas that they picked up in the middle of training camp, and he was just a body at the end of the day. Josh Blackwell at cornerback, he's just been one of the worst out of everybody. That's just me. And Jared Williams has been horrible. So, I mean, I think those are fair cuts. To say that, Grant Calcaterra is still here at tight end, so I think he gets a shot. He'll be a full go for this week. He'll get some playing time. About time he'll get some playing time against Miami this Saturday. And obviously you have the joint practices as well, so you have to look out for that. I want to go over, obviously, so that's 80, that's cuts to 80. Then your 53-man roster, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be so psychotic. We're going to go out of our minds. Once the player that we want to not get cut gets cut, we're going to freak out about it, and that's what's going to happen. Now, I want to go over Kvon Wallace, okay? What was asked of him this offseason was to bulk up. I thought in that Jets-Eagles preseason game, I thought he played pretty well. He had a deflection with a couple tackles. This Browns preseason game, he had a couple tackles really well, one behind the line of scrimmage. I thought he played really well. I'm not saying it was great, spectacular. I'm not saying it was bad or horrible, but it was okay. And look, and Kvon Wallace, can he contribute? Can he be something? He'll be on special teams most likely, but can he be at least the number 3 safety? I don't know. With Jaquiski Tartt missing a lot of valuable time because of the personal reasons, he didn't show up, and obviously being on like the 3rd or 4th team on defense. I mean, I think maybe because he missed so much time, they put him, he just went a lot lower on the depth chart. And then I think maybe he's going to start to climb up a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, because I think Jaquiski Tartt could be a prime cut as well. Maybe they keep Kvon Wallace over him just because Kvon has just been there, and I think he's just done a little bit more because he's just had more time with training camp and with the guys, like I said, with Tartt missing a lot of time. I think another one you have to look at is Reed Blankenship, because he's made some tackles. I think Reed Blankenship has been our best safety throughout this preseason. I think he's made some really good tackles, not as a safety, but, on special teams as well, so he could play both. I think he's a big special teams candidate. But he's kind of shown himself a little bit in this camp, and I'm kind of shocked because I didn't think he was going to do much of anything. But it was nice to see that somebody kind of stepped up in this preseason that you wouldn't expect to step up. So I'm really happy about it. And Kvon Wallace has 2 more years left on his contract, this year, next year, and that's it. I mean, he's got till throughout next year, to do something. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Anthony Harris is a free agent. And Marcus Epps is a free agent. So what are you going to do? I think that, and I said this in my last video, so I'm just going to say it real fast. I think Marcus Epps I think he gets re-signed. Nothing crazy, maybe a 2-year extension for low money, nothing crazy. Anthony Harris gets released. I just never been really a big fan of Anthony Harris. I think Marcus Epps is just going to do so much more for us for the future if they plan to re-sign him. And then what's behind it, I don't know what they're going to do. But I think the Eagles take their cap and they go and pay a safety next year, depending on who it is. I don't know who's going to be available. We'll get there when we get there next year. Jesse Bates signed his franchise tag. So, nothing's going to happen this season unless they make a trade for another safety that's not franchise tagged or something. So I'm not really sure. I think at the end of the day, I think it's better for us that Jesse did sign the tag, just because now you missed out on some time, but you don't have to trade for him, which you don't have to give up draft capital to trade for a safety and give up, you have to give up draft picks on top of giving a guy a big contract. So it's nice to just do one of them than do both, in my opinion. So I'm looking at Kvon Wallace and saying he's been all talk, no play. And then look, since he was drafted in the, I think what, the 4th round in 2020, and he was one of the most highly graded picks in that draft. And as a graded pick, he was a top 5 graded pick in that draft. And obviously that was from PFF, which can't really listen to that too much, and I kind of believed it. I was on the hype train. To me, he was nothing really but a poser. He was emulating Brian Dawkins too much. He was taking the pictures, and it was just too much glamour and shine, and there just wasn't any. I didn't get nothing out of it, okay? And he didn't show us anything. And when, we lose football games and he goes on Twitter and he runs his mouth every 2 seconds, and, if you're not on the train, stay on, like all that crap that he does. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, you're not even playing. Like you made one fumble recovery on punt. I mean, that's really all he's done so far. But he was asked to bulk up. He bulked up, and he's looked pretty good. I mean, you look good. You look okay. I mean, I'm not saying he looked fantastic. He looked like the next Brian Dawkins, or he looked like, he should be nothing. He's not doing anything out there. I thought he's done okay. But like I said, Reed Blankenship is definitely, I'm kind of looking at Reed a little bit here. Okay, and we're going to see what happens, but Reed Blankenship's making some noise these past couple preseason games, and then he's, I've noticed him, and trust me, if I didn't, I wouldn't even be talking about him. I've definitely noticed Reed Blankenship, so it should be interesting. Like Kvon Wallace has this year, next year to figure it out, but the Eagles are going to have to, I don't think they're waiting 2 years for Kvon Wallace to really do anything. He's going to compete in his next, this season and next season, but, it's just not enough. It's just not enough right now. I think you're going to re-sign Marcus Epps, and you're going to go get your guy, whether it's through trade, free agency, whatever the case may be next year at safety. Because they've always tried to upgrade this position this year. I mean, who knows? If you sign Marcus Williams in free agency, you probably wouldn't even have A.J. Brown right now because that contract was kind of crazy. So, I mean, free agency, you're overpaying for players that shouldn't be overpaid. That's what free agency is all about. That's what happens every single time. So let me know what you guys think about Kvon Wallace, with Reed Blankenship, the whole safety room in general. Where do you think it's going to go? And then we went over the cuts for the Philadelphia Eagles down to 80 with the cuts of Jared Williams, DeAndre Torrey, and Josh Blackwell, with a couple that are going to go on PUP list as Brett Toth and Tyree Jackson. Okay, and that's it. By next Tuesday, we're going down to 53. I will have a video on my final 53-man roster after this game on Saturday. I think I'll have an extra video out for that because I kind of want to do it myself and see how I tinker with the roster a little bit and see what happens. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follows live. Peace out, guys. Peace out, guys.